This is Jimmy.
I'm Fish.
I'm Jason.
And this is Thinking Outside the Pod. Hello and welcome to episode 107 of Thinking Outside the Pod.
107?
107. Fish is back.
Yes.
From his hiatus. So welcome back.
I was trying to figure out. I was like, "What the hell was I gone?"
Yeah, you had a school thing to do or to study for. So, but you're back. Last week we had our friend David on. We talked about the Ghostbusters trailer. Mixed reactions. I was okay with it. They didn't like it at all, or maybe a little bit. Maybe David was kind of more mixed about it. I don't think Jason liked it at all.
Do I think it'll be a movie that I'll like? Maybe not as much as the original Ghostbusters, but do I think it's because it's all women cast? No.
Yeah,
It just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't.
I think it's gonna be okay. It's nothing.
Will I watch it? Yes.
Yeah.
Will I thoroughly enjoy it? I don't know.
It's not gonna compare to like the classic of Ghostbusters because that's still I watch that even now and still like that movie. Yeah. So it's one of those. It's gonna suffer from the remake thing, but I think there's a lot of good cast in it and like good crew, like the director and writer.
Yeah.
Or writers, or I'm not sure how that works, but. They're good pedigree, so they have good track records on some of their movies.
Well, I
think
it'll be an okay movie? Sure. Do I think I'm the person to really like the movie? Probably not.
That's what we talked about.
But I don't think it's really meant for this time. It's not meant for me.
It's the
specifically
new fans they're trying to get.
I mean, I'm just not a fan of comedies nowadays in general because they all stem from the same tree.
Yeah, there was this video about like the downfall of comedy, how it's going one way and it's not that way's not good. Like the Will Ferrell comedies.
Oh yeah.
Like they're going more that route instead of like the Shaun of the Dead
smart,
type,
intelligent ones.
Yeah, smart comedies. So, but there's still some holdouts, and unfortunately, like it's the person who's making this made like Bridesmaids, so that was pretty good. Spy had some stupid humor in it. The same person that made that, and he made another one, Heat, I think, or something like that. A lot of Melissa McCarthy movies was made by the same guy. So, I don't know. It's the CGI in the trailer looked really good.
Yeah.
Much better than the effects back then.
Well, of course,
but
fancy ass
years
computers
ago.
back
yeah, exactly.
Then, yeah.
So, I mean, that's cool. So we'll see some cool stuff like that. We'll see. I'm holding out my final judgment because it's really only like the first real trailer. We had a teaser trailer before, but that didn't show much.
Yeah.
So I'm holding out my judgment. This trailer didn't put me off of it. So
sure,
that's what we talked about last week. But another trailer that just came out, the Captain America trailer, kind of gave the internet kind of
all warm fuzzies and stuff.
Yeah, it has. They finally it was rumored, but now they finally revealed that Spider-Man's going to be in the new Captain America movie.
Huh.
So they showed him in the end of the trailer. It's like this big fight between both sides, Captain America and Iron Man, and then like they stop at one point, or maybe it's at the beginning. I don't know, in trailer or chronologically wise. But Spider-Man comes in and takes Captain America's shield with this web thing.
Yeah.
So it shows him in like the red and blue costume, and he has like eyes that can.
Move with it, like they move on the outside of the suit.
Yeah, like like in the Deadpool trailers, like he's wearing a mask, but his white eyes still kind of move.
Okay.
Like
I guess
to show emotions through a mask.
Okay.
They kind of do that, but it's more mechanical. So it's like a camera shutter kind of thing. Like it zooms in by getting closer.
Okay.
And it looked really cool. Unfortunately, I thought it looked too CGI. That was my big.
Very comic book.
You're saying this is a comic book movie? You're saying it looks too CGI? You're like the entire movie looks too CGI.
I know, but like even like I don't know. Maybe it's the full like because they showed a Black Panther in that trailer as well, and he has a full body suit costume thing, and he looked fine as a character. But this Spider-Man, it just looks too CGI to me. But. He was doing like a flip in the air.
Well, it looks like his suit's kind of like the Green Lantern's one, like it's fully animated.
That's what I'm saying. It looked like that. It didn't look like a person in a suit. which I don't know. It's just maybe it's on that uncanny valley type thing. It just looks too good. I don't know. It was only a short clip of it, so
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's cool that Spider-Man's in there because that was a big rumor for a long time, and it finally revealed it. So that's going to be interesting. That movie's going to be crazy because there's like so many characters.
Well, as far as I know, I mean, Spider-Man's supposed to be a very integral part in the Civil War storyline.
I heard that
So
he's
it's
going to like
kinda
switch
like,
sides.
So it's kind of like, oh, it's about time that he showed up, considering he's a big focal point in that whole story.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Fish probably is just like what it's.
I still have to
know.
see Deadpool. That's where I
You
am
need
with
to see
comic book
Deadpool.
movies. I still need to see Deadpool.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Well, it's just for me, it's just like the movie I still want to watch it with the Zootopia or whatever. I heard that was supposed to be really good.
That's
the only time
from all the trailers I thought it.
I've always been a big I'm being more and more of a big fan of like the animated movies and stuff like that. That's what I've been liking recently. And so it's like I go see those over comic book movies any day.
You might like
And
Spider-Man then because he looks completely animated.
But I mean,
I'm
actually,
just saying.
there's a difference between live action animation and actual, animation.
Talking animals.
Because if I like animation where it's fully animated, not when you integrate CG into real life, it sometimes looks kind of funky.
It's getting better, but it's still kind of annoying when I see it. Like even like in the second Avengers with Vision, like he looked okay, even though he was weird looking. So I don't know. But yeah, Zootopia is supposed to be doing really well at the box office.
Yeah.
The other one, 10 Cloverfield Lane, I think is doing pretty well. I don't know
well,
how it
gotten,
compares because
it's gotten like rave reviews, especially compared to its predecessor. Just actually really, really
Did
good.
you see the first Cloverfield, the big monster thing? It was J.J. Abrams, shaky camera, big monster in a city.
It's supposed to be like a GoPro, essentially. I mean, kind of got the idea of it's somebody holding a camera.
It's some guy holding. It's like a found footage
Blair Witch
thing.
Project.
It's actually T.J. Miller that plays HUD in that movie, the guy that holds the camera the whole
really?
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a funny comedian.
I was like, oh, that's because he turned it on himself for a minute. I was like, oh, that's T.J. Miller. He's in Deadpool. Like he's Deadpool's best friend.
Yeah. It's all the same. It's all the same universe.
Pretty funny comedian, actually.
Yeah, he's really funny. He's on this other podcast I listen to called or he sometimes does it. Doug Loves Movies.
Silicon Valley, I think, as well.
Yeah, he's a comedian actor person. Pretty funny. But so Zootopia I think beat out Cloverfield Lane, the 10 Cloverfield Lane. Just
I think so
because the kids.
Because look at the market.
It's kids.
Yeah.
You can't, and they don't compare as far as.
Because
what
I
they
was
are.
hearing
No,
is
just wait a couple weeks and BVS will knock everything else down from the top spot. I think on opening weekend.
Probably, yeah. That's probably the next big blockbuster.
Who knows?
Yeah. So I'm excited. I still haven't been and like Fish has. I haven't stopped liking them yet. I don't know what will stop it. Maybe
well, just me, like I've always been more of a fan of like anime and video games and stuff. So for me, movies, I mean, unless it's something new and cool, because it's like I look at that, but then I'm like, I can go watch anime and see way crazier shit at new stuff. I mean, like you watch series from the same genre and you're just like they do weird, crazy stuff in them. You're like, wow, this is vastly different.
I guess I just never got into anime, so I never have that in the back of my mind as like this isn't the craziest thing I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
Like there's other stuff out
anime,
there.
like when you get some of the real Japanese shit, oh man, it gets
it's
really
ridiculous.
weird because you're just like this is all cultural stuff. You have like I have no idea what the hell they're talking about, but for some strange reason this is funnier than hell.
Well, that's
Japanese people are weird.
Whoa, hot take.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
It's but that's just cultural differences. It's not that they're weird. It's just I don't understand the cultural references at times. So to me, it's odd.
Yeah, well, just probably the same opposite for them. They're just like Americans are weird because we have weird stuff.
Only in Japan.
Yeah, well, like their commercials are so weird too. But for them, it's just
they're like that's normal. That's just how our commercials are.
Yeah.
And they look at our commercials like your guys' commercials are weird.
Yeah,
you're like, why are you guys so serious and stuff like that? It's not fun.
It's like you're actually talking about the product. It's not about emotions.
Just random stuff. Well, still best Japanese commercials. What was it? It was Tommy Lee Jones, Boss Coffee.
I think I saw a clip of that.
There's
yeah,
a bunch of them.
It's always funny.
A lot of them. They're always really funny.
Celebrities.
Spaceman Jones.
Seeing celebrities in Japanese commercials.
They're
hilarious.
always doing weird shit.
Yeah,
it's really funny.
Like that movie or that TV show Entourage. They had the main character do Japanese commercial, and it was just ridiculous, like him fighting ninjas, and this is for an energy drink, and it's like because he didn't want to do a commercial, and it's like they'll pay you $1 million or some crazy amount. And he's not like, okay, because it's just probably a 1-day shoot, and they get $1 million. Yeah. And it's just like, all right, and probably residuals after that. I don't know, but. Yeah, so I don't know. I would do a Japanese commercial for $1 million.
Oh, it'd be fun. I'd have a blast to it.
Yeah,
I'd be like, sure,
it's
all
ridiculous.
right. It's like they're like, all right. They also put like a rooster hat out or something like that. You're like, all right, whatever. I'm being paid for this.
Well, first you got to get to Japan.
Yeah,
in audition for some commercials.
Yeah, that's kind of the downside. It's not America.
Well, we gotta get famous here, famous enough, and then they can pay for us.
Then they come to us. They come to us.
Beg for us.
There's 2 ways we can do it. We can either go to Japan and then get completely lost, and we're like, I have no idea what the hell you're saying, dude.
Just walk into a shoot accidentally. He's like, yes, I was in a commercial. Where's my money?
So, but me, unfortunately, I have the disadvantage of I'll stand out like a sore thumb.
It'd be too tall. Yeah, but
just to give you some reference, I'm 6'5", I think. So it's one of those. So in Japan, I'd be like towering over everybody. I've always wanted to go back now that I'm tall, because I used to live there as a kid.
Oh yeah.
And so it's one of those.
We
had the American little kid where if we ever walked off the Air Force Base and stuff, everyone was like, oh my God, little American kids, you gotta get pictures with them and all that stuff. So nice friendly racism. Didn't realize it as a kid, but now that I go back, I'm like, it's nice, it's friendly, but still, you're just like
it's better than the other kind of racism.
Yeah. I mean, they could be throwing shit at us.
Yeah, throw rocks.
They could be doing that. But
stupid little American kid. Yeah,
let's throw bricks at him.
But still, I mean,
then take pictures.
Yeah, but I mean, it was kind of funny. I realized, it's like when I grew up, I kind of realized, I'm like, that's the only reason they ever gave us any attention.
Pretty much, yeah.
Little
it's just because you're
blonde-haired, blue-eyed American kids. They're like, oh my God.
And now, like walking in a crowd, you'll just be like just a sea of heads, and you'll just be the one above everybody.
Oh, I still like one of my stupidest. If I ever get the chance, I'll probably be stupid enough to do it. I always want to get like a Godzilla hat and walk around like there's. I can't remember which district in Tokyo it is, or I think it's in Tokyo. But there's like you see all the crazy sidewalks and stuff like that. They have like the cross sidewalk or whatever.
I've seen
I want to go through that with a freaking Godzilla hat. It's like super crowded, just like absolutely a massive amount of people, and there's me sitting there walking around with a freaking Godzilla hat.
Then they'll throw bricks at you.
Like they did in one of the Jackass movies to get a bunch of panda suits.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah,
running around Japan in panda suits.
Yeah. But no, I mean like that'd be like the greatest picture ever. Just sitting there, just like pretending to be Godzilla, and everybody's looking at me going, "What the fuck is this idiot doing?"
Yeah.
They go, "Oh, he's just a stupid American."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, it's a guilty dream. I have to do this.
That's fine.
That'd be fun.
Essentially harmless unless you cause like a riot or something.
Yeah, also the police come. And they just look at me.
Like the military comes and like with tanks and stuff and like, oh crap.
Oh shit. Like, no, I'm not actually Godzilla. I'm just American.
It's just like some aerial view, like just one dot running and then just a crowd of people chasing after you.
Yeah, it's the opposite. Like, no. Instead of them running away from you, it's you running away from them.
Like, you have culturally offended us.
Yeah, like, oh, no. Pretty much.
Like, I didn't realize it was that bad.
Excuse us for fearing prehistoric creatures.
Well, yeah. Well, Godzilla was like pretty much a symbol of like the American nuclear attack, right? That was pretty much it.
I don't remember
like
if
that's
it was
what caused
nuclear
it or
attack
something.
or if it was like nuclear power. I mean,
Yeah.
it's one or the other. It was definitely nuclear radiation of some sort.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was of the bomb or of like
just
nuclear power
just the
plants.
idea in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was one or
just
the
like
other.
what it would be
it was definitely it was supposed to be like a counter to
Yeah.
some sort of nuclear thing.
It had a message, but we just took it as a big monster. And now we're making those movies.
We're doing it better than you, Japan.
No, that's it. No.
Well,
no, we're
I
not.
mean, probably
We are not doing it better than Japan.
I mean, more action oriented, but theirs is more beloved
Ours
and
is
more
horrible.
cultural significant, probably.
Our Godzilla movies are horrible. What are you talking
The
about?
new Godzilla wasn't that bad. It was.
After seeing the old one with Matthew Broderick, I'm like, nah, I didn't even
that
want to watch.
Godzilla 2000,
that was horrible.
that was don't.
That was horrible.
Don't,
yeah, the
can't
new
judge
one with
that
I
way.
liked it as a
Cranston
kid because I didn't know what
was like a
a
big,
decent movie was, but now that I look back, I go, that was a horrible movie.
I think I saw that movie, but I don't remember anything about it.
I saw it as a kid.
Or it might have been maybe I just saw a commercial. But the newest one had Bryan Cranston in it, the guy who played Walter White on Breaking Bad, and Malcolm's dad in Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
It was
that's
okay.
one of those things. Is just looking at his character, that's all I could ever think of is the stupid, fun-loving dad from Malcolm in the Middle.
Well, there's a theory that Malcolm grows up to be Walter White. Like that's the that's the one of the theories.
And that's kind of funny. And it's from the shit he has to deal with. You're like, maybe
something happens to him. Yeah,
and finally snaps.
He snaps. Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the funny theories. But yeah, the newest Godzilla movie was okay. It was fine.
I guess
it's really the only Godzilla movie that I've seen that I was aware enough to know what good movies are.
When I think of it, though, I haven't really seen that many Godzilla movies. I've never been into the kaiju genre.
I saw those two. I saw that. I think I saw the Godzilla 2000. And was there one before that? I don't.
There's
it might have been.
Well,
American one.
No, I don't think
so. No, it's just that one.
A lot of them.
Yeah. I was thinking of the Jurassic Park because there was one of the Jurassic Parks had a T-Rex in the city, so that kind of maybe that threw me off.
That was the third one, I think.
Yeah. So
was it third or was it second?
Maybe I don't know.
That was the second one.
No, I think it was the second one.
Because the third one they were back into another island. The original island, didn't they?
Or I think it was another island.
That's similar to it.
Similar to it. Like it was like
the
big island, and then there was a small island.
Did they go back to the smaller island in the third movie? Is that what that was?
Yeah, because because it was a little boy was lost in that island. Like a rich family was vacationing, and there turned out to be.
No, they got real weird.
It was okay. It was fine.
I don't really remember.
The first one was the best.
Awesome.
And then sequels, how they do. They were fine with what they were.
Okay, but you're just like it kind of falls into the we have to take old series and make them like super actiony and stuff.
There's a bunch of callbacks and some weird stuff like she had heels on the whole time. Like take off your heels.
That was something that I definitely noticed. I was like, there's no human being alive that would run through all that mud and crap in high heels and still not lose the heels.
Outrun a T-Rex in high heels.
Yeah,
I mean, women are talented in walking in high heels and all, but still,
full out
getting chased
in high heels. Yeah,
getting chased by something.
That's a little different. Yeah, that's hard to believe.
Yeah, but
well, like her entire purpose in the movie, it's like why? She would have been better just sitting out the entire time, where she's like, no, I have to be the strong female lead character.
Yeah.
Like, no, just leave. You are making the situation worse just by being here.
Yeah.
You are not helping.
It's
you offered nothing to the scenario.
Wasn't there a recent news story that they're trying to clone a saber-tooth tiger?
Oh, I think they've been doing that for there's woolly mammoth they've been trying to clone.
Yeah.
That was several years ago.
Yeah, I saw that one story. It's some like Arctic cat or something that they're trying to get the DNA.
What they'll end up doing is not necessarily clone it, but they'll crossbreed it with a current animal. So the next thing we'll know, we'll see like a tiger or something with sharp teeth.
Yeah, well, with
sharper teeth.
Well, that's
but you know what I mean. Like it'll actually protrude out of its mouth or more so.
Well, that's what the original Jurassic Park did. They
saber-tooth meat.
But in the original Jurassic Park, didn't they use the DNA of dinosaurs, but they put it into like a frog or some other animal?
They took like
they copied most of the DNA
frog
from
DNA to fill the gap.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
and that's what led to the whole reproduction thing was because the frogs they used could produce asexually.
Oh, really? Was that the thing?
Yeah, the species of frog they used could reproduce asexually, so that's how they could.
That seems like a big oversight when you're trying to.
Yeah.
You'd think if you're using DNA for stuff like that, you'd think that'd probably be. It's like first thing. Can this thing reproduce asexually?
Let me put it. I don't think that actually happened, but that's what was.
Or maybe
that's
the
what
could
that was
evolve
purported
to,
or something.
Maybe it could evolve to reproduce asexually.
Yeah, that's because Jeff Goldblum was like, life will find a way, and so I don't know exactly how that worked, but I don't know. Well, but as soon as they clone because they
talked about the when the raptors were born, they're like, how are you breeding them? And then they said, it's all controlled and all that stuff. So I think they kind of explain how they're able to breed them.
Yeah, but yeah. So and they didn't learn their lesson because in the Jurassic World they threw all types of DNA into a dinosaur and it went crazy.
Oh, I mean, that was definitely one of. You're like, come on, they had to have been really thinking. We're going to make a weapon out of this thing. Because why else would you put all that crap in one monster?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the whole point, I think, of like Jurassic Park 2 and 3 is that it was just there was always that third party of like some mercenary group that was like, we're going to make them for weapons and all that stuff, which I didn't really care for that whole aspect of it because movies always try to do stupid shit like that. Like, military's going to use it. Yeah,
Well, of course.
Well, because
be
Hollywood's
honest.
full of liberals, and
Well,
I not that I'm anti-liberal or anything, but they
Heard it
always
here first,
it's
folks.
It's anti-war.
Jimmy is
when you look at it, though,
anti-liberal.
a lot of our technological advancements have been funded by military purposes.
Oh, yeah.
Internet, that was military, because it was the idea of, if all of a sudden all of our telephone lines go down, they wanted some way of communicating. And so they were like, well,
Yeah.
hey, there's this fancy thing called the internet. Let's put a shit ton of money into that, so then if we ever lose all of our phone lines or whatever, we can still communicate between these two computers.
And most like, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of technology is just watered down government stuff, like
Sure.
microwaves and all that. Probably stem, maybe not microwaves, but something like that. They probably developed microwave technology. That was actually by an accident, but a lot of things.
Definitely some stuff is for not everything is military weaponized.
Of course,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. Of course not. But I mean, but like you look
There's-
at like a lot of the current robots and stuff like that. I mean, you got the Japanese random companies that are building the nice little friendly robots, and you got us who are like, we're gonna actually make these be useful. We're not just gonna build these friendly robots that just serve as like emotional aids or whatever.
Yeah.
Like no, we're gonna make these cool bipedal things that are just gonna act as carrying packs and stuff like that, and they'll be able to carry stuff, and we're gonna make like these cool robots that do stuff.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things. Like if this stuff is becoming available to the consumer, what kind of tech does is actually like out there?
Yeah. Well, and there's
Just not ready for consumer.
Oh, there's
use.
probably a lot of. There's probably some very scary stuff that we don't know about yet.
Well, yeah,
they're just like we don't want to tell everybody because it's gonna freak everybody the hell out. Like we accidentally
We
found.
actually have time travel.
Yeah, they're like we just don't want to tell anybody yet because that's gonna cause a shit ton of problems when you have idiots time traveling back.
yeah.
That's when all of a sudden the economy just blows up because everybody goes back and wins the lotto.
Wins the lottery. Yeah.
They're like, oh, today 400 million people won the lotto today. You're like, damn it.
Everyone wins $13.
They're like, oh man.
But yeah. So speaking of government interference, I don't know, the Apple FBI thing. Do y'all have any opinions on that? The Apple FBI is trying to force Apple to create like a backdoor in their programming to.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those
It's a sticky situation.
It's really
because I understand, the FBI what they're trying. I understand both sides' ideas, but I lean more towards Apple's stance than I do. Because the FBI is like, oh, we're just going to try to break this one phone and stuff like that. Well, that's not usually how it works. You break one phone, you kind of have a way to break all the phones.
Yeah, it's just a moment. It's just a one day that will get out, and then anyone could do it.
It depends on how the encryption is made. Like, unfortunately, I haven't taken a class on cryptology yet, so I don't know the full details on how all this works. I mean, I understand some basic. It's essentially you have code or whatever, and then it applies some sort of mathematical equation. So like you have maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, and all of a sudden that turns into I don't know like dog 22.
Yeah,
so
and
by some weird complicated formula,
and
it somehow changes it to some other random bit of data.
And the other program knows that equation, so it can backwards.
And so it just applies it backwards, and it gets back to the actual code, and then it does it. So I mean that's a basic form. I mean I'm pretty sure it's way more advanced than that, but that's basic cryptology right there.
Yeah, they use like big prime number, like the large prime numbers out there.
Yeah,
they use that for encryption.
It's some super complicated equation that they come up with. I mean, you could do something as simple as just do like a number line, do like modulus, and just move it over by like 3.
Yeah, add 3.
So dog becomes like whatever it'd be,
Yeah.
Whatever letters it'd be if you added 4 to its
simple
number.
cipher. Yeah.
So I mean, you could do a simple thing like that, or you can go super complicated. But the idea, what everybody's really worried about is the idea of if we let the FBI do this, that sets a precedent where they're like,
exactly.
well, now that they got into one phone, what's stopping them from being able to get to another phone?
Well,
and what's also stopping them from using this technology, this program that they get, to start sneaking into everybody's phones?
Yeah.
We know that's what we know they'll
so
do
you
that.
combine that whole idea with the already like the Patriot Act as it is right now. I mean, that's a very dangerous combination for them to say, oh, we don't need an excuse to get into your stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's for the safety of America.
So,
like,
I mean,
which is what they're saying. They're trying to get into that terrorist's phone to see if there's contacts or something like that. Which it's really strange to me that there isn't a backdoor, or there isn't something that Apple can get into phones. Because don't people like accidentally lock their phones all the time? And
there's probably a way.
can't they just do that to that phone? I don't understand. I don't get it. Like I don't know. I don't really know too much about it, but I don't understand unless No, I would think Apple can do it. Maybe they just don't want to give that information to the FBI.
Well, that makes
but
sense,
worst case, just do
Apple's
it in
in on
secret. Just do it in secret and be done with this.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how they coded it all, because I mean, it's one of those that they could have technically coded, a lock without a key.
Yeah.
It could have been like, we're just going to make this really complicated thing that we have no idea how to unlock it, and we're going to do it, and it's going to be like, well, all right. Yeah. Now it's because think of it. How does he make something super secure? You lock it without knowing how to unlock it.
Get rid of the key.
It's like,
You're
like, we don't know how to unlock it. Like, we made this thing specifically so we couldn't unlock it.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's one of those. It's also a bit of a privacy issue.
That's a big thing too.
Because then what's stopping them from going to everybody's phone and going, hey, we think you're a terrorist, and they look at all your stuff and they go, okay, you're not a terrorist. And you're like, well, okay, why the hell,
Yeah, in my eyes, I think they're already doing that. I'm sure.
Well, yeah,
I'm on
it's
Android.
Get even worse.
Android knows. Google knows everything I'm doing anyway. Microsoft knows everything I'm doing, no matter what. So and Apple, the same thing. I think anything.
Oh, you think of it, the second you connect to the internet, your ISP or That's why I try not to use public routers too often, because it's one of those of anybody can look at the router and see what the hell you're doing. I mean, it's not as long as you're not doing anything stupid, you're fine. But still, it is scary. That's why you don't plug into random USB ports in like the airport and stuff like that. You gotta be careful with that kind of stuff.
I've heard stories about that, and so it's I don't know. It is. I understand both sides of it. Yes, it'll help. America or against terrorism, whatever, if they get a terrorist phone and they want to get the information, and Apple doesn't want to do that because of the company-wide ramifications of that. So
but
it's big. It's a big crazy thing.
I think one of our biggest issues though is we're always trying to react to terrorism as opposed to sitting there saying what actually is why are these terrorists pissed off at us? How about we fix the reasons that they're pissed off at us as opposed to just sitting there trying to constantly defend against them. You're like, that's part of it's like trolls. If you don't feed the trolls, they stop trolling because they get bored and they're like, oh, I wanted to piss people off. And therefore, but if nobody gets pissed off, then it's like, well, okay, well then they just stop. And they'll try, and everybody's just kind of like, and then they're just like, and they eventually stop because they're like, well, if nobody's getting pissed off, there's no point for me doing this because I'm not getting a rise out of anybody.
That's the biggest
thing.
Yeah, that's America.
Biggest internet meme. Don't feed the troll. You know.
Yeah.
Just leave them alone, and eventually they'll shut the hell up. Or that's or sometimes that's why you have a mute function. You just shut them up, and then you just carry about.
Or
or you leave.
But the other thing that it could escalate, like they could try new things that are even worse.
Well, yeah, but
that's a
it's
risk.
one of those though. Of we're taking an active fighting stance as opposed to let's try to find a peaceful way to stop getting them pissed off at us.
They're mad because we're so cool. I don't want. And
but
we can't get uncool. We're too cool.
I know this is gonna sound like a very un-American thing, but can you really blame them for being that pissed off at us? Because think of it, what have we done in their country for like the last 20 years? We've done nothing but go over there and kill them and take their oil and stuff like that. That's all we've done. We've done nearly nothing good in their country. We say we're doing good stuff, but it's all for us.
It's good for us, yeah.
So we're like, we'll go ahead and we'll totally destroy your government system.
Yeah, we'll fund rebels and.
That's the whole idea of America's the world police and all that stuff that we are way too involved with everybody.
Well, that was Teddy Roosevelt's thing. It's like, America is the world's watchdog.
We're way too involved in everybody else's business.
Yeah, and it's like, can you blame them for being pissed off at us? I don't. I hate to say it. I mean, it sounds like a very un-American thing, but I'm like, I can totally understand why they'd be pissed off at us. We've done nothing good for them.
The FBI is coming for you, fish, right now.
I'm not gonna.
I love America. That's NSA, I know you're listening to this in real time.
It's like I don't hate America, but it's just like it's like
I know. I completely
we have a history
understand.
of pretty much just going around killing everybody. And it's like, I'm pretty sure eventually the world's going to be like, hey, those assholes who are super rich, have a good, nice economy, all that good stuff. But they're killing all of us.
Yeah. Why are and there's the thing. It's like we do some, but we never do enough. So we start to help them, and then we just leave. And
then we're finally oh, okay, now we don't want to be involved. We killed your leader, we killed a whole bunch of your civilians. But good luck.
Well, that
we're gonna lower our involvement.
Movie Charlie Wilson's War demonstrated. It's Tom Hanks. He plays a government agent who's trying to fund Afghanistan's rebellion against a certain leader or something.
Okay.
And he does it buy like a really it's a good movie, like, and he like funnels money through different countries and stuff like that to get them weapons, and then once it happens, America like stops him from doing anything. So it got Afghanistan all these weapons, and it like created like Al Qaeda, and like because we didn't do enough, like so it like had like crazy ramifications down the line, as we know.
Sure. I mean, and
because
who knows?
Because we left.
Yeah, this could all be stuff that we funded years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who knows? I mean, we could have been like, oh crap, they decided to turn on us because they're like, hey, these idiots that funded us, they're kind of assholes.
Yeah.
We don't like them.
It was for the Afghans to fight the Russians or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but that was a pretty good movie, and it showed him still trying to help them, but being shut down. Like he's like, we need to help their education. We need to help them all this other stuff, and they're like, no, that's over. We have new stuff to worry about. And he's like, oh, all right. No, and that's how the movie ends. So it ends on a down note. It's
well, I mean, that's kind of our issue. Yeah, is I mean, we kind of funded for military and stuff like that, and then we just kind of left them. You know, we just kind of abandoned them. It's like, well, what do you expect? I can see why they'd be pretty pissed off.
Yeah.
I'm surprised of all of them. Like, you know, Japanese like us.
Yeah.
We bombed the hell out of them, and then we took over them. Greatly modified their culture, and somehow they still kind of tolerate us.
Well, we buy their stuff, I guess.
They don't. I don't think they like us, but they at least are kind of like
tolerate us because we buy their stuff. Yeah, the economy is the economy is a big deal. Like, yes, we owe lots of money to China and stuff like that, but the other thing is like, if we didn't buy their stuff, like their economy would go down too. So they couldn't like default us on their loans, because if we fail, they will fail as well. So it's kind of like
that's kind of like with the Cold War with us and Russia. I mean, it's one of those. Not really one country really can actually start a war, because it would be so devastating to both countries if we actually, you're like, hey, we're the two biggest countries in the friggin' world. If we go all at it, like, we're gonna destroy the world. So we're just kind of like,
is it? What's the mutually assured destruction?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it'd be very bad for both countries.
It got really close, like the Bay of Pigs and all that, or the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
I think there was a bunch of like crazy tense moments in that time.
Oh yeah, Russia's trying to move missiles into Cuba, and then
yeah. But like they're saying, like if everybody has the bomb, then no one will use it because everyone would.
I think it's quite opposite. If everybody has the bomb, then all of a sudden everybody pulls the trigger. I mean, that's like that.
Oh yeah, one person.
That's how we're going to destroy the world, or not necessarily the world, but us. That's how we'll die. And we'll just.
One person pulls the trigger, and it's just going to be a chain reaction. Everybody will just start going nuts.
Yeah. What's that? I'm sorry, I keep going to movies, but Doctor Strangelove.
Yeah.
Doctor Strangelove, aka How I Learned to Stop Loving the Bomb, or whatever.
What was it? Oh, geez, what is it? How I Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb.
Love the Bomb.
Like
yeah,
it's something weird like that. Yeah,
it's about that. Just one.
It's a really dark, dry comedy movie.
Yeah, it's definitely a dark comedy, but yeah, it's about one, like a crazy guy launching a missile and not being able to stop it, and then the whole world launching their missiles, and that's out.
I wonder who's on like America's list if all else fails and they're like, all right, just launch everything. I wonder if they have like a list somewhere
of like targets,
of like their top 10 U.S. targets for nuclear strikes.
See, I imagine being like something strange, or just like, we're just gonna bomb the hell out of Switzerland. Why? Just cause.
Damn your neutrality.
They're like, why? Why Switzerland? They're like, they're just sitting out there, they're doing fine.
Making chocolate. What?
Probably take out France. Just because it's France.
Well, I mean, we have our enemies, of course. We have.
It's all of our allies.
Just like, dang it.
Funniest thing, we're just like, forget our enemies. We're just gonna bomb our allies. And they're like, what are you guys doing? It's like, we hate you all.
It's like they have two lists, and they accidentally give the list to the wrong list to the person who's putting in the coordinates. And he's like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yes, I'm sure."
Like the regular list and the sarcastic list.
Yeah. It's like, friendly fire. They're like, "What are you guys doing?"
It's like, why are we bombing Miami?
We're hitting Japan. Just hitting Japan for old time's sake.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah,
As
unfortunately.
They launch the bomb towards London, like God save the Queen. Then.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Like, oh, crap.
Like our enemies are just like, all right.
Thanks.
Thanks. We
you win.
win.
There's that really old Flash animation of like how the world will end or
End
whatever.
of the world or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Like Australia.
Pretty
It's
much.
Like, it's like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, like
the
no
entire
one,
world just blew itself
no one
up. but we're
bombs
okay.
Australia. They just leave Australia alone
Yeah.
because everyone just forgets it's there.
See, Australia's one of the few countries that I generally really want to go to that I haven't been to yet. I'd love to go to Australia and go check it out.
I
really
like
want to
Australia.
go check out the outback.
It's funny. I had to do a project on Australia, and I showed like a map of like the dangerous things on it, and it's like. Tsunamis around it, and then like inside it's all tornadoes. Like, just like two different things or something like that. I forgot the exact. But it was pretty funny. Like the graphic I made for it because I just like drew a circle inside Australia, and I was like tornadoes there, tsunamis on the outside.
Oh man!
Like it's all dangerous, and you always hear like the Australian like the meme. It's like dangerous creatures are everywhere.
Yeah.
There's like
Mingo
that
ate
one
my baby.
Exactly. Yeah. That's you can't have
Koalas eat your face off.
Yeah, the tree bears, they fall down and attack you. But yeah, but I mean, I don't.
Kind of the highlight of the trip. Like you're just walking down the street and like koala jumps on your back and starts like biting or scratching you.
I think
that's like one of my worst fears is like having a vicious animal, like an unstoppable vicious animal, like. Even if it's like kind of medium size.
I mean, koalas seem small. I mean, if you're able to get him off, you just like throw him.
Yeah, but still, that just freaks me out. Just having something like crazy vicious. I don't know.
Well,
That's
I think
just
one of my
fears.
favorite quotes from Australia is from an anime called Crayon Shintan, and I don't know if it was just the dub that did it or if it was actually in the original Japanese script. But they're going on a trip to Australia, and they're like they described it perfectly. Like it's America, but with funny animals.
Yeah, there are some funny animals there.
It's like pretty much. You're like that's what's up. Yeah, I think I could say that's pretty. Accurate.
I mean, Australia's fine. I have nothing against Australia, so I might. I don't like traveling.
That's one of the few countries I genuinely want to go to. Like, I want to do that, and then eventually want to check out like the pyramids. Like, I'd love to go back to Japan again now that I'm an adult, and then go actually check out like the different districts and stuff.
I don't want to go to any place that's like temperature-wise uncomfortable. Like,
well, what's your definition of temperature-wise uncomfortable?
Anything hot.
Well, then you have to go like pretty much like
cold places.
You immediately get rid of like half the world.
Go to Alaska.
Sorry. Yeah. Pretty much.
Go to Canada.
Just cold places. Yeah, Canada. I wouldn't mind actually going. I don't know
what
if I were to travel. Like Canada would be kind of cool.
I think Canada would be okay, but I don't know what I would do in Canada. It's a lot like America. I don't think there's anything that much different up in Canada that's not here.
Like they have a Tim Hortons. I hear Tim Hortons is good. I would like to go there. Try some fast food, Canadian fast food.
Oh, okay.
Poutine. That's something to try.
That's
it's just like cheese and like gravy.
It's like gravy and fries.
Yeah, so we'll try that.
Canada would be cool, but it's like there's just not much in Canada I can think of. I mean, when you think of a tourist destination, I don't really think of Canada.
No, I know. I the thing is, I'm just not much of a traveler. Like maybe like Ireland. I would like to go see Ireland,
cool.
but
love
even
to go to Ireland.
just to be like, hey, I went to Ireland. That's kind of cool. Or Britain.
Yeah.
Like London and all that. Why not?
I say I wouldn't. I'd go to Japan just to, like for the partying.
Partying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just to experience the culture. I want
to go look at all the dirt stuff. Definitely want to go down.
Like the.
I think I'd do that too, but I'd also.
That'd be my big thing. I'd just be like, just get lost.
I wouldn't even get a hotel. I'd just be running around 7 days straight.
But they're like, how much money did you? I come back with like a suitcase full of just like figures and stuff like that. How much money did you spend? Like you don't want to know.
Yeah.
How much money did you spend? You don't want to know.
A bad amount.
Like $4,000.
Just all hopped up on Japanese energy drinks.
You're like, it's cheaper to do it this way.
I haven't slept for 6 days.
You're like, I bought so many figures. My wall is going to be full with figures.
Never want to go to a rave again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not much of a traveler. That's my biggest problem. I understand the appeal of like the world wonders and all those things, but then again, I'm just like, there's this one travel series called The Idiot Abroad.
Okay.
It has this one guy, Carl Pilkington, and he goes to all the world wonders, and he's just like, tells it like it is. Like he's all like, okay, that's a big wall. All right, it's.
But it's cool.
Sure
I've been to the Great Wall of China. It is fascinating.
They say that.
I mean, it's one of those it's one of like a lot of the stuff that I saw as a kid. Like I didn't understand how cool it was until I got older, and then I look back at it. I go, man, that was some cool stuff that I saw. I wish I could see it now that I'm an adult and could really appreciate. Now that I know more about the the history of it and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe, and he's kind of really not into like history and all that kind of stuff.
I'm
So
not-
he didn't appreciate it, of course.
I'm
for what
not
it
a
is,
history buff, but still, when you see
Well,
the
it's just
great
a
wonders of the
monumental
world,
achievement.
yeah, when you see these great wonders, though, I mean, they're fascinating. You're like, this was done, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, and this is like way cooler than anything we've done today. I mean, like, what's our greatest achievement today, recently? Internet. That's really our thing, and the connected culture. I mean, that's kind of our greatest. That's our wonder of the world right now is the internet.
Yes, but also like what built the pyramids and Great Walls, like slaves and prisoners of war. So it's just like
you're right, but still,
we could do a lot if we
kind of like
could
the
do
East
slaves.
Coast and some of the South.
Yeah, well, but we didn't use the slaves, or they didn't use the slaves. I don't want to put myself in it because slavery is bad. But they used it just to make money. But if they were actually doing it for monuments, it might have been different.
Well, that's at least what we, there's always those theories of that's what we think happened. Because you look at the pyramids, though, you look at it, you're like, that's kind of a stretch of the imagination that they really just built it with a bunch of slaves.
Again, I've only seen
That's where
pictures, so I haven't seen like the grandiose nature of like big pyramids. But
they put grain in there, right?
Huh?
They put grain in the pyramids.
I think they put a bunch of stuff
in
there.
Well,
Dead bodies
they
in
had
there
some,
too. Entombed in?
It's just where they stored their grains, right?
Full of wheat and snake traps.
No, it's just like it's just like the leaders'
like,
greed. They was like I want my burial to be massive and
just barley and
kill a lot of people.
Barley and snake traps.
This one's on a big giant laser starts shooting out from it. You're like, oh, damn it.
Yeah,
lots of
Oh,
pressurized sand.
what is it doing?
It's like the Las Vegas, like it shoots out the light and
Lots
stuff.
of like pressurized sand.
Pretty much, but yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I'm not into all that kind of. I think it'd be cool, but then again, I don't know how amazed I'd be.
For me, it's one of those.
That's me.
I got sick and tired of it as a kid, but that was because I was kind of being drug around. And now that I'm starting to get older, now that I've lived, in Texas for 10, 11 years or whatever. Now it's like, okay, now I kind of want to start. Yeah, I'd like to start traveling again. Now I just don't have the time or the funds to do it right now. So it's like once I get the time and the funds to do it, you're like, yeah, I'll be probably traveling a lot more. Yeah, visiting stuff.
Well, yeah, it's just never for me. I don't mind staying.
Well, have you
around.
ever
That's
been
the
abroad?
other thing. I don't like. I've been to Mexico with my family when I was younger, and that was kind of cool. I got like a. Well, I mean, it was like a border town thing, so it wasn't that.
So now you didn't even really go into Mexico. You just went just across the border. That's not traveling abroad.
I got like a Ninja Turtle penny piggy bank. Coin bank. That was pretty
for
cool.
like 10 cents probably.
Chiclets gum. I had got some of that. That's all I remember really from it.
Yeah,
so I don't
that's
really
not
go.
really. Yeah,
I mean,
those
I've been to some places in America, like for school. Like I went to Nashville, Tennessee, and I've been to California with my families over there. So I'd like to maybe go to New York.
I've been to New York before.
But even that, I'm just like, it'd be cool to see New York, see Central Park, see Empire State Building, see Statue of Liberty. But
for me, it's like, I love going over to like, all the different countries, seeing the different cultures and stuff like that. That stuff is cool. Like seeing all the like seeing all like the shrines in like Japan, Korea, and stuff like that. I mean, they have some really cool stuff over there.
I like seeing it on TV. I like the travel series.
It's different to look at it and go, wow, this thing is so cool. You're like, oh, look at the beautiful artwork and that kind of stuff. You're like, oh, look at this cool dragon statue thing. You're like, oh my God, this is cool.
It's like San Antonio is the best. Why go to any place in second?
Well, that's an absolute lie.
San Antonio is really good. It's rising up in every list.
Yeah, it's good, but it's not the best.
The best,
it's good enough. Be amazed by what's in your backyard.
Why settle for good enough when you go for the best?
Well, it's good enough. It's fine. It's good enough without any of the downsides of having to go places.
There's plenty of downsides.
But there's not like African viruses and
there are
terrorists.
Zika and all that stuff.
Well, now,
because
people traveled.
West Nile,
people
Ebola.
Travel and go places and come back here.
Well,
it's the travelers that are destroying us with disease.
But is it here? Yes. So therefore, we have African viruses.
Yeah, but now because people travel to Africa and come back with it. If they didn't travel, if they just watched travel TV episodes, they wouldn't have got Ebola.
So what you're saying is the Africans need to stay in Africa. Is that what you're trying to say?
I say no one needs to travel. Just be happy with what's in your backyard, people. That's my
a very un-American thought. Because if we had that same thought process, we wouldn't be around today.
We would be in different places. Yes.
No, we would not be here. There'd be no way. Because if we didn't travel, there'd be no way we get over here. we'd be stuck in
colonization is bad. We've done some
Wow.
bad things.
Wow, Jimmy hates America.
I
You
know,
heard
you
it here
hate
first,
America.
folks.
That's how America. You see,
I
you
love America,
but you don't like.
I love America. It's just this is how it's been. So let's just keep it at status quo, starting here. I understand.
Well,
Oh
there's
yes,
nothing
it's
to colonize anymore. I mean, unless we colonize Antarctica. I mean, that's
like
about it.
space, I guess. The space.
Well,
I
so
guess
then we
space
can't.
travel.
See, now we
I
can't.
can't go to. Yeah, we can't go
So
to
you
the
can't
moon
go to
because
space
of me,
anymore. You said you
'cause
don't
I'm
want to
the leader.
travel. Well, that's traveling.
Wow.
Yeah, no
Wow.
more
So
space.
no more space. No
Well,
more
they're
space for
doing
you.
that anyway. They stopped manned space or missions and stuff. So
Well, no,
they're
they're
already
doing more
doing that.
private stuff. I mean, they did
Yeah,
more of the
third-party
government
stuff
funded.
now.
They're like, eh.
yeah, but
Wow.
I'm just saying, if it was my way, a lot of Indians would still be around.
Native Americans.
And
Ass.
I'm talking about the people in India who were killed by the British.
Them too.
Wow. Yeah. See, calm down, everybody.
Way
Of
to
course,
racist dodge.
I'm taking it to the extremes for comedic effect. I understand travel's cool and all that, but
Now, Jimmy actually hates America.
I love America. No, I love America.
He burns American flags on the reg.
Nope, I don't.
I try to stop
That's
him, but
that's in
Because
his
the
that's in his
symbolism of my
that's in
burning
Jason's fantasies.
love for America, burning the flag.
Every
passion for
I
America.
burn flags because
Every-
I love America so much.
every flag in the world is pales in the comparison of the flag that's in my heart that burns forever. That's
And
why.
on my front lawn.
Yeah, those are false idol flags. And most of them weren't made in America. So
Well, probably the American flag you bought probably wasn't made here either.
I know, it's made in China. You're like, oh, hi, ironic.
that's what I'm saying. And most of them aren't
Made in
here.
Taiwan.
Yeah. So I believe some of what I've just said, and some other stuff is ridiculous, of course. But
Sometimes it's hard to tell with his monotone voice. We were having this weird conversation
Yeah.
before that we started. So
I
his
I don't think I have a
voice.
monotone voice, but it
I can't really think
seems like I
Peter
do.
says
Yeah,
another thing.
it's just like just
A
one
straight
like a
line.
straight line, like little valleys, and like y'all's are just like huge ranges. I'm just like, geez, I don't understand it. I think I'm fine.
It's like, I'm going to keep talking in a monotone voice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bueller.
Sorry if it's grating to the listeners. I'm sorry. It's
Bueller.
pretty much. Yeah.
That's what I think it depends on. Different strokes for different folks, I suppose.
Yeah. It makes me
Depends
who
on the
I am.
scennario. Like when you're talking to somebody, it's fine, but when they're trying to teach you something, then you're just like, oh my god.
I remember having a history teacher, but the history teacher that was talking just talk nonstop, monotone the whole time. But it was kind of funny because he had like a dry sense of humor. It's also in that monotone thing. So some people like didn't get the jokes because they were just like, was that a joke? Because he didn't smile or anything. He just said the funny line in the line of the regular dialogue. So, but it made it even funnier to me when I got it.
No.
Even though I didn't laugh out loud because no one else was laughing, but I laughed.
Look around,
I
you're
laughed
like,
in
"Should
my
I be
mind.
laughing?" You just have one guy, you just start busting out laughing. Everybody just looks at you like,
Yeah,
"What's he laughing at?"
I-
You're like, that was funny.
I bet the teacher would appreciate it, but I'm a student in class, so I don't want to.
That's what he just looks at you. He's like,
I'm peer pressured into not thinking the teacher's funny.
the teacher just looks at you and you're like, I wasn't being funny.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that'd
damn
be
it.
even worse.
I was
You're like,
being
oh
very-
no. I thought it was a joke.
very
That was very serious. I'm like, oh, all right.
You failed
I'm
today.
just gonna not ever come to this class ever again out of embarrassment.
I'm going to wear a different hat. so
Yeah,
you can't
pretty much.
recognize
Yeah,
me.
I'm gonna grow a beard.
Like I'm marking you absent for the day.
Yeah, you
been
failed.
sitting
You
here.
failed the quiz.
Like, too bad.
Class, was he
I don't
here?
see
No. Dang it.
If you say he wasn't here, you'll all get an A on this quiz.
Who was here? Exactly. A pluses for everybody. Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm trying to talk in a more monotone voice for his voice, but it's just what I
And you're like,
what
it's
I
the same
sound like.
voice.
It's what I
I'm
sound
hearing
like.
difference.
Okay, but okay. I like America. I don't hate it. I don't.
Just that you need to clarify that is kind of damning.
Well, you guys are saying that I hate America. I don't hate America. I love America. There are some bad people in it, and some
Like us.
humans are inherently greedy, so that's unfortunately the cause of a lot of bad things. All right, Mythbusters ended. We need to
No segue. Just, all right, done.
It's getting kind of heavy, so I was just like, all right. So let's go to even a sadder story. Mythbusters ended, unfortunately.
How was that sad?
Mythbusters was awesome. I love Mythbusters. It's one of my I would say, my favorite shows.
So I used to watch it all the time, but recently I just kind of was like, just hadn't really sat down and watched it.
Yeah, I mean the last season they knew it was their last season, so they kind of went all out. So it was
really?
it was really
I have to go
good.
back and I'll have to watch them then.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I'm sure they're going to be rerun forever.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it might.
They probably
My
found them
dreams, I
online
hope they do.
easily and
Yeah,
stuff.
that
I
too.
mean, I think probably even through
You're
Discovery
going to be thinking
themselves.
about Carrie Byron in your dreams.
Huh?
That's what you're going to be rerunning.
Yeah.
Episodes before she left.
Yeah, she was very attractive and smart and everything that I don't know. But she was beautiful. But that was part of the reason. Well, no, I mean they have to do that. I mean, nerds, they know what nerds and people want to see. So it's all a science, and it worked. But yeah, and the last episode was kind of emotional.
Oh, really?
Because they brought the build team back. Because they brought Carrie, Grant, and Tori back and kind of reminisced about stuff, and I was just like, teared up a little bit. Not really. I'm a man.
But then they can move on and just make Mythbusters 2 or something like that.
Well, yeah, and they said they're going to be doing other things. Adam Savage is on this website called Tested.
Yeah.
Where he's doing like builds and experiments and all that.
Yeah, well, they just
kind of
took it over. I mean,
Yeah.
it used to be part of what it was alongside like Giant Bomb. Whiskey Media is what they're all owned by, and then
Adam Savage joined in to Will and
I can't remember what the other guy's name was.
oh wow, darn. And the thing is,
It's Will Smith and what's the other guy's name?
I can't think of the guy's name. He's the main guy now, and he's I like the guy. I just can't think of his name.
I should know it, but I can't remember what the other guy's name is. We'll look it up in a second here.
Yeah.
So we want to be factually correct.
Norm. Dang it. Norman Chan. Yeah. But yeah, Will left. He's working on VR.
Oh, really?
He's doing VR games and stuff.
Okay.
He's doing VR applications and stuff. But he still does some of the podcasts they do. But
because thinking of VR, just real quick, I think Sony's going to announce their VR stuff on Tuesday.
I know Polygon had a big old article about kind of the build process and price, but they didn't tell a price, but they talked about it.
I think Sony's in the same position that they were with the Xbox One right now. If they can sell it for if they can sell it for around $400,
it's going to be big.
I think because everybody will be like, oh, I kind of, I don't want to spend $600 to $800 on this thing, but because like me, if I, depending on how the Sony looks and stuff like that, it's like, I may fork over the money for an Oculus, but it's one of those, because I don't want to really, as much as I'd like the Vive, I don't have enough space to make use of the Vive. But then it depends on this. It depends on what Sony does. Because as either way, I already have the infrastructure. I can use both.
Yeah.
So it's like I could buy one or the other or both. And then I could still make.
You have
use
the
of
hardware already.
Yeah. So I already have the initial, the costly part of it done. It's just do I don't want to spend that much money on a headset. Like I'm curious. I kind of want to be a first adapter, but also I'm just like,
it's
big. We've done this before and it didn't work out in the past. I'm like, is now the time for it?
Yeah.
I'm like, is it? Do we do we have the infrastructure to make it work?
Yeah, I like the idea of virtual reality. I just don't see a point right now for me to get it. So plus I don't.
Well, but you don't play a lot of video games.
Exactly. So
I play video games all the time, and I'm like, I think it's going to be fun. It depends on how you interact with the games.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Tesla, they just did like a bunch of VR games. They have a whole video. It's on their front page right now. So, but yeah, we're running out of time. So that's about it. We're releasing this on Monday, which is Pi Day. So happy Pi Day.
Yeah. So hopefully you turned your clocks back or forward,
spring
not
forward.
back forward.
That's annoying.
And it's St. Patrick's Day.
When is it?
Thursday.
Thursday. Oh, right. And then Daredevil on Friday.
So it's
a big week.
Action-packed week.
Yeah, Pi Day. Starting with Pi Day, getting things off crazy. And then Daredevil.
All right. Party,
but that's our episode. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all
Different
that.
Strokes.
What is that from? That's not even like the Different Strokes theme song.
It could be the theme song for the reboot.
For the disco version of it.
Ruin it.
But that's our episode. Comment, feedback. We like all that. So
do we ever get any?
Not much.
Okay.
On Twitter we get some feedback, but
give us more feedback. Yell at us. Say stupid stuff.
Tell us your real feelings on Jason. We know
You have true feelings.
but that's
And
about.
also the feelings you have towards Jimmy after this episode because of his undying hatred for America.
I love America, you guys. That's going to be the title of the
Have a
episode.
great St. Patty's Day.
Yep. Wow. Racist. All right. See y'all.
All right, bye.